Well, while I wait for a couple people to come in here, I'm going to browse on the. Well, there's one. I'm going to see what's on the old marketplace. Some kind of deals. But it just picked up a really nice Suburban. I don't know what he gave for it, but he said he got it at a really good price. What's up, Jerry? And Mr. Massey? Good evening, sir. How the heck are you? Haven't seen Jerry on here in a while. Good to know that everybody's still out there. Well, that's no bueno. I hope he's doing all right. Well, that's no good. We got a new fixed ops manager at our shop, and he was there just about a week, and he's been out since, and that's been 2 weeks now. And apparently he got the Rona too, and I guess it's screwing. He's diabetic, and I guess it's screwing with his diabetes pretty bad. So, kind of funny. These 3 guys came from another dealership. One service writer, the fixed ops guy, and then a technician. And Kenny, the new technician we got, and he came back. I think it was Wednesday. He was here the rest of the week, but man, I tell you guys, it's been dead at the dealership here lately. Really slow. And these glasses are really screwing with me, but I can see your comments a lot better. Because well, that's no good. Had to go to bed after I made the dumbest mistake ever doing brakes. Yeah, we've all been there. It happens. As long as you know you made it and you can fix it, that's all that matters. Somebody just posted a video on TikTok here, and I guess somebody tried to do their own brakes. They put rotors and pads on it, and then they got there's on some of the pads they got this V clip that's actually a spring, and they got it squeezed together and up through the hole on the caliper. And to take the caliper off, and they got the inboard pad with metal to metal instead of the pad side. Not to mention the springs are all jacked up. There you go, Jerry. I have never done karaoke, although I'll sing my butt off in the car. I don't think I'm too bad of a singer, but then I'm a little biased, you know. Ooh, looky there. Somebody has a 3/4 ton Suburban listed on Marketplace. Too bad it's a 6-liter. It is 4-wheel drive, though. I wouldn't want a 6-liter Suburban unless it was, or I wouldn't want a Suburban 3/4 ton unless it was an 8100. Yeah, Jerry, it's not necessarily the karaoke thing. It's the fact of getting in front of a bunch of people and singing. That's my deal. But anymore, I'm just to the point where, if I get up there and, it don't matter. This is what anybody thinks, you know. It is what it is. Oh, goodness gracious. Ooh, that Suburban's got 274,000 on it. Wow. It's a lot of miles. And they're still wanting 4,400 for it. Whew. It's amazing. You got all these gas drinkers out there and they still want an arm and leg for it. Hey, there's a 97 Tahoe Sport. That's a 2-door. Those are ones you don't see very often. Put a Cal induction hood on it. Wow, that interior is pretty rough. And the rockers are rusting out. Nope. Wait until closing time. All right, Jerry. Thanks for at least stopping in. I know it's kind of late for getting on there anymore, but I've been working on cleaning up too. So be careful. Take care of your dad. And I'm sure we'll holler at you soon. What else we got out here? Here's a 2001 with an 8100. Doesn't say. How many miles are on it? Oh, there it does. It says driven 28,000 miles. I don't think so. Usually when you get one of these, they've been driven. Needs seat covers like they all do. Interior's pretty nice. Really nice. That's a solid truck right there. Got some knobby tires on it, though. I couldn't handle that. What's up there, Doc? Hey, Steven. Yeah, I got to set something straight right now, y'all. We can't talk about that kind of stuff. The last video that I did got taken down because I had an opinion about something, and they didn't like my opinion. So to me, they bullied it and took my video down. So I can't have that kind of discussion. As much as I want to just let her rip, I can't do it because then they'll say, "Oh well, guess what? You've got misinformation on your video. Boop, you're done." So I really don't want to start my channel over. Although if it came to it, I could, but uh, I will just say yes. I don't agree with it. You're exactly right, Doc. Well, that's cheap enough. I know. You believe that? It's only taken me 4 years. Well, I don't know if it's 4 years. Doc, I am on Rumble. As a matter of fact, I haven't done a whole lot with it yet. I'm trying to figure out how it works because they say you can sync it with YouTube. Um, but there's not I don't think there's a live stream function on it. Oh, you can live stream there. Well, it might be worth a shot sometime. I have been so busy lately. I was talking to Hybrid Muscle Garage. Hey, you guys, if you get a chance, go check his page out. Give him a sub, give him some love, spread the word out to him. He's been trying to grow his channel, and he's having a lot more trouble at it than I did. He's got some stuff on there that's really informative, and well, I told you he'd made me a tool for uh, my transmission, and he's got a C10 he's working on that's going to be bad to the bone. It's it's going to be pretty sweet. That picture of that one that's on the thumbnail for this video tonight, it that was actually almost identical to a truck I had. Um, Same year and everything. Absolutely love that. I never should have sold that truck. I never should have sold a lot of the cars I had, but I did. Um, I sold that truck to buy a bigger truck, a heavier truck to tow a camper with, and that truck got sold to buy a heavier truck. And found out it wasn't heavy enough, so I ended up with the one I've got now. But I tell you, I love a standard cab long bed 4-wheel drive pickup. I mean, I had an emerald green one. And a Ram 350 with a Winnebago on it, 12 valve. What? But anyway, go check out his page if you would. Hybrid Muscle Garage. Um, he's a good dude. He's just like he's trying to do things too. He's in the same boat I am. He's got a bunch of videos out there. Probably I've got one video that's ready to upload. Except I need to film an intro and an outro, and I haven't done that yet. And then I've got um, another 4L60 build that I did. Actually, it was a 4L70 build that I did for another guy for a Suburban, and it's already in and down the road motors. But I filmed it, and I haven't even torn down his core yet. This is one that he asked me if I could get one built for him so he could just swap it out the same day. And I had a case and I had most of the parts. Well, I had to get a lot of the parts, but I got it built for him, and then I had to go up north. I think I'd filmed one up there, filmed a video when I was up north. Take care of mom, and I just haven't had time to get back. So, Stephen, like I said, that was an identical one. That was one I picked that I found, but I don't think that was the that one was mine exactly. But I do have pictures of mine somewhere. I think it's on my other computer. Let me look at it. No, that's a Chevrolet. That was just one that I found, and that actually looks like it's a short bed. Mine was a long bed, and long bed 2-wheel drive GMC, same color schematic, identical same color schematic. Mine didn't have white walls on it, but it did have the 15 by 8s. For the longest time, I ran an aluminum American Racing wheel, and I had 275 60s on it. But dude, I loved that truck. That thing was nice. It was a trade-in at one of the dealerships I worked at, and it was one of those deals where I'd bought a house and quickly realized that I needed a truck, and that one came available. It had a camper shell on it when I bought it. Of course, the camper shell went bye-bye, but absolutely loved the truck. Went everywhere in that truck. I drove it to school all the time when I was going to community college, um, learning networking for computers, and I absolutely had a blast. That truck was great. Got rid of that big semi truck steering wheel that was on it, and put a Grant steering wheel on it, and you can't believe how much more room that gave you in the cab. Because I'm not a small dude, and driving that truck with that semi wheel on there, it was crowding space for my gut, and that just didn't work. So I put a Grant on there, big, with a thick grip on it. It was a nice steering wheel, and it was great. Loved that truck. It had dual tanks on it. Now, here's something that I thought was kind of funny. So this was a half ton. It had two 20-gallon saddle tanks on it. I bought a 3/4 ton same year. It was out of bought it out of Arizona, and it was kind of that burnt orange and white paint job on it. This truck had not one bit of rust on it. It was just a gorgeous truck. 3/4 ton, like I said, 454 with a 400 turbo. And it had two 16-gallon saddle tanks on it with the big block. Tell me that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I tell you one truck I do miss though quite a bit also. I bought again, I was at a dealership and I one of the guy this old man come in, had an 89 half ton pickup. The transmission was out of it. Had a bunch of metal in it. He decided not to fix it. I offered him $300 for the truck. I said, sure. So I bought me a half-ton two-wheel drive pickup for $300, and I put a little bit of money in it and fixed the transmission. And I put some, I think they're Iron Man Rhodian HT tires. They looked like a Michelin LTX tire on this thing, and I'm going to tell you that was the best driving pickup uh, by far. It was smooth. I mean, it steered good, ran good. It had the typical um, GM mosquito fogger when you start it up cold, but it is what it is. Um, it was a great truck. Yeah, I don't get why why they put so you get that big block in there, and they're like, why you put these small gas tanks in it? Just doesn't make any sense. On that Ford though, it's that Ford usually had at least they put the fuel fillers on the same side, and they had one that was a saddle tank, and then one was the rear tank. Yeah. Only thing worse than that was the Suburbans. The Suburbans, like, they, they've got a 40-gallon tank that's in the rear. Kimber, um, buddy that I work with, uh, he just bought a '08 Suburban, and he had the carbon canister come apart in it. And what it does when the carbon canister comes apart is it fills all the evap lines with all the pellets out of the carbon canister, and it plugs up the vent so you can't fill the tank because it just keeps burping it because it can't breathe. And he said he spent like 4 hours cleaning all that stuff out and cleaning it all out of the lines. But he said he got done. He said, "Yeah, it took $100 worth of fuel real well." Yeah, Doc. That the same thing applies on my 3/4 ton I've got now. I've got a 3/4 ton extended cab short box, and it's got a 26-gallon tank in it. The only way you can get a bigger tank is if you had a long bed, then you got a 34-gallon. Um, but I'm under the impression that Titan makes fuel tanks that you can get, but they're damn proud of them. From what I understand, one of those tanks can be like $1,200. I could put a lot of gas in a 26-gallon tank pretty easily for that kind of money. It's just not big on my agenda. I've got to get after that pickup of mine here for too long, or it's just not going to be anything left. I'm looking at the. I was looking at the brackets for the B&W flip ball that's in it, and I've never seen them do this, but it actually the metal is like pressed together in layers. It kind of looks like, and it's floured. I mean, it's spread apart. The brackets are so rusty on it, and I really got to get after that poor pickup. I love that truck. I'm dreading doing the cab on it, y'all. I can honestly tell you that I'm dreading doing the cab. I would love to be able to find a frame um, that I could have powder coated and ready to go. So when I start this project, all I got to do is swap everything over. Um, it would save me a crap load of time. Um, clean everything up and have it all ready to go. And of course, I'd replace the B&W that's on the back, and probably put a new like class 5 hitch on the back. Yeah, Doc, I hear you. Mine's an '02, and it's the same issue. The rocker panels are gone on mine. You know, the one of the guys I knew up north, he's got an '02 that was an 8100, just let one dually, and he bought an '05 that was a diesel dually, and his '05 is not rusted, but his '02 did. And I heard it had something to do with they were using galvanized in '05 or something like that to prevent the rust. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've like I said, I've got a cab lined up for my truck. I got to go get it, and it's got to be cut in, and then it'll be a pretty big undertaking to do that. That's what I was saying. I'd rather have a frame. That way I could just take it to cab and go ahead and set it on the frame once everything's done. I wouldn't have to take mine. Well, I mean, technically, it would be easier to take it off because I could pick up the. Yeah, I don't know if my tractor would do it or not, but um, pick up the engine, transmission, and transfer case all in one fell swoop. I think the limit on my bucket is about 1,000 pounds, and I know that's well over 1,000 pounds. The Allison itself weighs 300 and 330 pounds, I think it is. Um, yeah, I guess worst case scenario, I could take it apart at a little at a time and do it that way. I mean, that would work also. Then I know I could pick it up with a bucket on the tractor. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Doc is doing a frame, but it's kind of tough to find one. Um, I really don't want the whole truck, and I just have to start calling around on some salvage yards. I mean, there's some older stuff out there, but a 3/4 ton HD frames are going to be kind of tough to find anyway, just because it is a 3/4 ton HD. And they've got a factory 2-inch body raise on them, which means the cab mounts and everything are 2 inches higher than normal. So yeah, Mike, this cab that I've got, um, the cabs, other than having the rockers are a little bit dented, but I mean they're not rusty. I mean they can be pulled out without much problem. Just do one of those spot weld deals and just pop them out, and they'd be good to go. Um, the cab itself's in good shape. Um, there's just going to be a lot to go along with it, and be able to source all the parts because mine needs a new insulator that's on the firewall as well. And of course, it's going to have to be painted because mine's indigo blue, and this cab that I'm picking up's pewter or sandstone or whatever you want to call it. So the guy I'm getting from's a painter. And I mean, he could cut in the cab and get the firewall looking right before I stick everything back in there. Get them from junkyard. They're usually cut up to get cab and motor mounts out. Yeah, yeah, I know. Because most of the time they're not worried about the rest of it. They're already making their money on it either way they look at it. So that's why I hate going to the pick and pull yards too, because half the time that stuff's been butchered. And I wouldn't be disappointed if I could find a 1-ton frame either. I mean, that would be all right, I guess. It wouldn't exactly match the VIN though, because I got to swap the VIN plate over. I talked to the highway patrol and they said, just as long as when you get done, run it by and we'll inspect it, but shouldn't be an issue. So, and of course, I'd like to do some freshening up on some stuff too, but that may not happen. Love to do a little engine work while I'm got it out, and that could still happen also. That Raylar Raylar Performance, I think, is the name of it. They specialize in 8100 stuff, and you can get cylinder heads from them and intakes and all sorts of stuff. Doc, they say that even doing a little bit of head work on the 8100 doesn't benefit hardly at all. That's why the Raylar came up with the cylinder heads. They seem to flow quite a bit better. Quarter 10 frame. Quarter 10 frame. Have my ex-mother-in-law set it on it. It would be a 1 ton with an old crank. Yeah, for sure. Steven, you're awful quiet if you're still out there. Haven't seen you say much tonight. How things been going out your way? If you're even still on there. Throat's getting dry. Doc, the 8100s do use a cathedral port, but from what I understand, the cast iron heads, I mean, you might be able to polish them up a little bit, but the benefits of them, the biggest problem that they say that the problem, let's try that again. The biggest problem that they say with the 8100s is the intake manifold, the way they have it designed. It's got a big block in the middle of it that kind of blocks airflow, makes the runner extremely long, so you get that torque curve that they're having for the power that they want out of that engine. And trust me, I'm not disappointed with the power that it's got, but I obviously would love to have more. It could always use a little bit more pulling power. We're still kind of on the hunt for a camper, and I'm thinking the more and more about it, that if I try to find a Kodiak or something like that, that's try to find one that's got an 8100 in it. I think the maintenance cost and just the upkeep on that one would be much less than it would a diesel. Easier to work on for sure. The parts are a hell of a lot cheaper. And the way I've seen the fuel tearing up these diesels anymore, I'm kind of leery of them. Now, that being said, if I had a chance and had the finances, the bigger diesels, I would probably say, yeah, that's okay. You know, something that's got like a Detroit in it, or even the red top Cummins or something like that. Just put an old 350 in a 99 Durango. Oh, yeah. And a Hemi and a 99 Silverado. I think it's supposed to be the other way around. Yeah, Doc, I've been wanting to talk to the guys out there at Raylar and tell them what my goal is, but that's something that's not big on the agenda. Just, man, I can't talk tonight. The big thing on my agenda is just getting the truck where it's not going to rust out around me. is it's pretty bad, and it needs some love. I really need a storage or a shop or something to put these cars in to get them out of the Florida sun, because I mean the Florida sun's just beating the shit out of everything. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, I guess. Except when they're wrong. Oh, goodness gracious. I got to put a transmission in a cruise Monday. This gal, I think, was moving from Colorado down here to Florida for school or something like that. She had this little cruise loaded down, and it just cooked the transmission. It's pretty much done, and they had to send out an adjuster. I don't know what for. I says the thing's burnt up. Gotta send an adjuster. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, wife sent me a post. Barn it or pole barn uh, installed, $9,800. I didn't think that was too bad. It was a 24 by 36 by 10, and it's not really tall enough. But I would love to have some place to work that was climate controlled. Um, I'm really jealous of my buddy. He built himself a really nice shop out there at his house. He said he really didn't wanna do it, but he's glad he did now, and the thing is just fantastic. It's set up very well. He's got an open bay on one end, just open. It's just got a roof over the top of it, and then he's got 3 enclosed bays that are pretty good size. It's like 30 by 50 or something like that enclosed, and then behind it, he's got storage on either side for his boats. He's got 2 boats. The thing is just set up well. He's got the compressor outside and underneath the cover, so it's not in the shop cluttering things up. It's just, really nice. Mike, that's not exactly the case. That transmission weighs more than 75 pounds. Um, it is an automatic. Excuse me. Junkomatic. But, it's, uh, it's been really quiet. I think we had more appointments today. I had to work today, and I think we had like 29 appointments. That's more appointments than we've had all week. Well, that would be all right. I thought if worse comes to worse, I could always go back to doing things solo, do it out of the house. I don't know how I would do it if I'd have enough work to keep me busy. Obviously, I'd want to do transmissions and try to teach, and that's the whole reason why I started this YouTube thing. Really, since we weren't blessed with any offspring, uh, I don't have anybody to share my knowledge with like my dad did with me. And so I started the YouTube thing to hopefully be able to help people out with things that, with the more complicated things like transmissions, because that's what I like to do. Um, just kind of general repairs and try to have some fun at the same time. Um, and it's been good for the most part. I I guess I had delusions of grandeur that of, you know, being like some of these other YouTubers out there that are making buku bucks. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad I helped you, Mike. I still want to get this, do that 6L80 for y'all. Just, I got so many other projects in the fire right now that I'm still not getting done here. Um, Still got to replace my gate out there. It's been down over a year now. I haven't had time to put it back together. And it's so miserably hot down here right now. Humid. I mean, you wake up in the morning and most of the time the humidity is 95 or 100%. I mean, it's so saturated. Hard to want to do anything. You got to work in it all day, and you feel like you've been in a swimming pool with your clothes on by the time you leave work because everything's just soaking wet. You know, I thought it was humid when I lived up in Missouri until I came down here. But at any rate, so anyhow, I figured I better do one of the a live stream. A couple of y'all emailed me wanting to make sure that I was still breathing, which I greatly appreciate. It means a bunch to me. I really do. So anyhow, so what y'all want to? Anybody got anything that they want to talk about, or we just hanging out here, or what are we doing? Something I can help you with? Oh, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Man, I haven't been there in a while. Trying to figure out where we're going to go on vacation. Trying to do something, I guess, before it gets too cold. That's what we ought to do, is just go up there to Tennessee, Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, and haven't been there in probably 15 years. '91 Crown Vic Interceptor with a 5.0. Well, that came with a 4R70. Well, wait a minute, it's 91. That should have been an AOD for that one. That was when they first started coming out with the E4OD, which was a heavy-duty version that they used in the pickups. I don't think there's another option in the 91, unless you want to get an adapter plate and put a 4L80 in there. Well, Danny, there's cabs down here. You just got to find the right place for them. I don't know what LKQ gets out of them. But I guess there's a big lot up there around Lake City. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. Let's see what Lake City says. I don't say anything on it. I guess there's a couple of them around close. Hey, what's going on, Ice? heavy is the extended cab? Danny, I have no idea, brother. I know if it's got everything in it that I don't even think 4 guys can pick it up. Now, I know 4 guys can pick it up if it's empty. Seen it done quite a bit. That's a good song, Mike. Garth Brooks. When he did the 7 concerts in Kansas City, we got to go to see him in live concert, and it was so good we tried to get tickets again. Ooh, Danny, I don't think you can do that on a Tahoe frame. Mainly because the Tahoes back then, they had coil spring suspension. Um, the frames were set up a little bit different. I don't know that you could do that with a bed. I mean, you're probably just better off to find a pickup for that matter. Boy, the pick your part in Daytona is pretty decent. Ouch. Well, they got a lot of inventory at this one. Anyway, back to work until 11 a.m. Oh boy. Danny, I'm not sure yet. There is supposedly a place um, in Ocala that does it, which is not too far away, from about an hour drive away from me. Um, Supposedly they do it. My boss at work, um, when he restored his 454 SS pickup, um, he took it down there, and the thing looks fantastic. Mike, thanks for stopping in, and we'll holler at you soon. You be safe as well, and we'll see you in the next one. goodness, excuse me. My dinner tonight consisted of a grilled cheese sandwich. It's the only thing that sounded good when everything cooked up, and neither one of us felt like cooking tonight. So, like, well, make something simple. There's a fourth gen Camaro at this lot. I did that just for you, just for you. No, I had one that was just identical to that, only it was a GMC. Um, when we lived up north, it would have been, I think I sold it around 2000, 2003, I think is when I sold it. Always loved that truck. I knew you'd probably like that picture. That one's actually a short bed. Mine was a long bed, but same color scheme. Uh, First thing I did was got rid of the highway gears that were in it. It had 273s in it. Got rid of those and put a 373 in it, and ditched the 305 and put a roller 355 in it. And it ran really good. Says I have a text. Pretty bad. I even looked at my phone forever. But yeah, it was a good pickup. Love that pickup. I'll have to find some pictures of it. I've got it somewhere. I think it's on my other computer and it's down right now. Well, it's not necessarily down, but I've got I've got some parts coming for it to try to get it back up. Yeah, I love the square bodies. Always have. To me, they were comfortable. I'd find it if I could find another one that was in decent shape. Of course, my wife says you need another vehicle like you need a hole in your head, which she's right. I got 3 Camaros back there. Work is very slow. That's what I was just saying earlier. It's been really slow, and I mean, I did a bunch of oil change tire rotations today at work. The only thing that's working is these prices running the money out of my pocket. And my laptop that I was been using at work decided to take a dump. So I had to dish out $800 for a new laptop. It's not the one I wanted. The one I wanted was $2,400. It was one of those tough books. I couldn't justify it, couldn't afford it. So I got me a cheapie, but I bought a 4-year extended service plan on it just in case screen gets broke or something stupid like that. So it's an Acer, and the only thing that I wish that I could have found is it's white. Now, what mechanic do you know uses a white laptop? That thing ain't gonna be white very long, I can tell you that. What do you mean by limited slip part, Danny? What are you asking? Well, I don't necessarily mind doing the trans work. That's the whole thing. It keeps my mind occupied because I like a good challenge. And some of these lately have been a challenge. Like at 21 Colorado, I had a 6L50 in it, and did some weird stuff. Sometimes it would go in first, and sometimes it wouldn't. You put it down in manual one, it would go ahead and go forward. Couldn't find necessarily anything really bad leaking. But what had happened is it had plastic check balls, and it has plastic check balls in it, and that's what they use. And it had eroded one of the plastic check balls and pushed it through the separator plate and was wedged in a port on the other side of the valve body. So it burned up the 1, 2, 3, 4 clutch. So I get this thing all back together, get it back in the truck after repairs, obviously. And it sets a 965 and a 967 code for PC solenoid 2 performance and high voltage, which means the TCM's bad. Well, the 6L50 is like a 6L80. It's got the TCM inside the pan. So I had to drop the pan out and pull the valve body back out, replace the TCM, put it back in, program it, and then everything worked. Oh, you're talking about, Danny, how you fix it? The They actually make depending on the limited slip type, they make a special tool to grab that S clip to collapse it, and then you pull the S clip out. Then you can take your gears out and you can replace the clutches just like anything else. It's really fairly simple. Now the Eaton lockers, they're another animal altogether, and I actually don't think they offer um, any replacement parts for that. I say that, but then again, GM, the way they do it, they don't half the time you service it as a unit that you don't even bother taking it apart and repairing it. Just depends on what it is. But sorry, it's about that time, boys. I think I'm about ready to hit the old haystack, get some shut eye. Get up in the morning, go to church, and spend some money at the grocery store. Oh boy. I had to buy some chicken. Hopefully got some stuff that's on sale. But it's going to be a short one tonight. Oh, Omen laptop for 4K. Speaking of which, John. Oh, I'm sorry. You probably don't want everybody to know your name, but this new laptop I bought is an Acer, and it's got a 4K display on it. It's pretty well loaded up for the money I got. I ordered it with Windows 10 Pro because GM does not support Windows 11 on any of their programs. So Windows 10 Pro, it's got 16 gig of RAM, 16 gig of memory on it, an i7 8500 series processor, 3.2 gig, 512 gig solid state drive, and quite a few other things, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, obviously, and it was for $799. Yeah, for sure. Y'all, I'm gonna cut it out here too. I'm gonna take the kids out and let them do their business one more time, and I'm gonna head towards the sack. So, y'all be careful. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Make sure to pay attention to your loved ones and make sure they get what they need. Pray for us. Pray for the country. That we get out of this without much falter. So, until next time, we will see you later.